Here we go. And here we go. Yep, that's right. Welcome to another edition of Tomato Talk, top of mind, advancing through obstacles. We all do have different things that we work our way through, and we're going to see what we could learn by hearing from other people and understanding what those obstacles might be and how they've overcome it. And again, these obstacles don't need to be major. They just need to be something that we learn from, something that we grow from. And that is one of the best ways of doing it. You know, the one of those, oh, if I only knew, those kind of comments. And, oh, I wish I did something at that time. Well, one of the first things we want to do is figure out this background thing. So I want to work through that issue of it. So I got the camera here. I got the screen over here, that way. I want to see if the whole thing works out pretty well. And I think we're making headway on this, you know, so that's pretty cool. We can tilt this down a little bit more so. And I think we're okay there. You know, that's good because we have a few things coming up. We got a bit of the wall, a bit of the tree. Need a little something over here, right? Just to perk that up, which we could do. We can get our Take Steps banner back over there. Maybe hang a few tomato vines in the back and do something like that. Who knows? The world is full of possibilities. But I could tell you by doing this program, I just want to log into Facebook over here. This way I could see whatever comments come through if anybody's interested in commenting. But even by doing this, or definitely by doing this, I've learned so much about this whole idea of videotaping and doing interviews and things like that. And that is definitely, I have to thank so many people along the way to make that work that have been super, super helpful with doing that. But no matter how you cut it, whatever you're doing, you need to learn from. And I can't stress that one. I can't stress that enough. And I wish I was, oh my gosh, I'm not even close to being perfect in that respect. But boy, I definitely want to try to make myself better, you know, in that learning curve process. Oh, I've learned, but sometimes it's when you're in the middle of it, it's a challenge. Doug, good afternoon to you. Hope everything is going well in your world. But, you know, when we're in the middle of something, I guess this really becomes the preparation side of things. To Steve Rizzo here about getting your shift together, but how you approach things, finding the humor things. I guess the most appropriate book there, though, would be Being a Humor Being. You know, where you find the humor in different things. But it's very hard, I have found, and we'll have Steve on one of these days, but I have found it very hard to find the humor in things if you're not going into something with that expectation of this may not work, but I'm going to look at it in the best possible manner, as opposed to jumping into something and expecting everything. And then it doesn't go the way you expect it to go. It's like, oh my gosh, what a mess that was. I'll never do it again. Now you tell me, what's the better attitude? Going into something with a realistic expectation that I'm going to learn something from this, be it good or bad. I am going to learn something from this effort. Or in the case of Doug, with a conversation with Doug, learned so much speaking with him over the years. But knowing that I'm going to learn from whatever that effort is, and then you look, you know, if it's a total mistake on your part, yeah, you poke a little fun. That's always good. Get on a comedy stage, you poke a lot of fun, but generally you poke a little bit of fun at it, or just understand that, okay, that was a learning moment. That's good. As opposed to thinking that you know it all, going into something with great expectations and great internal expectations from yourself, setting your goal, setting your mindset goal too high. I don't know if you could ever set goals too high, but they need to be realistic. And then you go into something and you make a mistake. You're like, oh gosh, that was the worst thing in the world. Terrible. Never do it again. Not good. Can't do it that way. So in the case with this vodcast that we're doing, oh man, over the years, and it's years, one more month, it's going to be 2 years to do it. 2 years of doing this thing. It was St. Patty's Day was when this whole thing really kind of COVID really kind of came together, and it was in and around that point in time when I started doing this thing on a daily basis, talking about events where we could learn from COVID, and it's changed a little bit. Ironically, I get the same angle. I had a roll top desk that was behind me at the time. Kind of changed that around. Didn't like the way that looked. Kind of spread things out a little bit. I'm still in the same room, truth be told, in the same room, but I spent very little money, just a little bit, just some money on a camera and putting that black stuff behind me over there, which I think makes it look good. I think if we put a few things up on the wall, just get rid of some of those lines there, that'll help out a little bit too. So we learned by doing. Doug will, I'm sure Doug, you'll agree to that one. Dave, I know you will. As we continue on our paths, there's so much that we need to take in and learn from. So wanted to share that with you. All right, so now backgrounds, just to go stick with that title in its entirety. So I got this background over here, so we can make the tree lighter. That's a little too much, but I got my ring light, so that's something there. Make sure the ring light stays up. Doing that, I think just a little bit of a background light over there, kind of that works out pretty well. Got a few paper bags down there. We'll put something up on this side over there. Hey, I got that when I got that in Europe. That was after high school, graduated high school. Found that little thing, and the lighthouse, and that goes back. I think that was from my grandfather, where I got that from, East River Savings Bank. If you've ever heard of the East River Savings Bank, man, you're dated. Let's put it that way. But I filled that up with coins. I wonder what's in the bottom of that, because I've been tossing coins into that thing for years, along with Yosemite Sam. And another one, Yosemite Sam. This one goes all the way back too. Got whatever coins in there, so maybe we'll make him put him up over here. There we go. Now I got a partner. I got a co-host. Always have a co-host. Yosemite. What do you think there, Yosemite? That's good. You're a little too violent, right? We can keep those guns someplace else. So anyhow, so I got that. And then the other side of it is, let's see. Let's see if we could use the background over here, virtual background. The other one was this. How about the brick? And let's see if the brick comes up. And then we'll get into something a little bit more serious. What do you think about that with the brick? Now, if I painted that wall green back there, you wouldn't get this, whatever, the shadow nose kind of a thing. But that's it. Very typical, I think we can go with. Typical. Because our Toastmaster friends will appreciate this. When we had the Toastmaster meetings, we always chit-chat. Used to chit-chat in the parking lot after we walked out of our meeting, and now we stay online and we chit-chat in the parking lot this way. All right, let's go. Blur, is that anything? Not really a fan of that one. Let's go back to none. There we go. We'll go with this one. Just change the wall up a little bit. Maybe you get some paneling back there and make it look that way. Make it look a bit more like studio. But I like this. I like the way this thing looks. And we can change I move the computer around a little bit more so and make it work that way. So now you know what's going on there. All right, let's get on to some current events that are coming up. Things that we're working on. And we're going to do a shared screen right now. And let's see, Doug and Dave. So let's go with a quick one over here with the HIA. Let's just talk about that one real quick, what we're looking to do there. HIA, boom. All righty. Okay, so the HIA trade show, Hop Hog Industrial Association, they are having their trade show just like they've always done in the past. There'll be some restrictions with COVID, not a whole lot. Well, hopefully not a whole lot. We shall see what goes on as that gets a little bit closer. Let's try that too. Whoop, to guess. That's it. There. There's the shared screen. Oh, I get small. That's a full shared screen. Then it disappear. How about that? Tough to read. Let's go with this one. Okay. So anyhow, that's the HIA trade show, May 26th. 2022. So the deal with that one, it's going to be at Suffolk Community College. It's at the Brentwood campus, where they always held it. It's in their big auditorium, where that will take place in their conference room. I don't know what we call it, but anyhow, it's a gym actually, which they convert over to this thing. So it's really large, which is great. So there'll be a few. Actually, we'll see what happens with the differences, but still expecting quite a few vendors down there. Couple hundred, 300, 450, who knows as that goes along. Boot spaces will be the same kind of setup. That's good. They're going to make a little bit more structurally make a little bit more sense. This way, your boot sizes, and the boot size will be there. What's interesting is the pavilion heads. So there'll be a number of different sections that'll be led by a major sponsoring company. So that should be pretty exciting. One of them, let's call it the technology. Technology. I was just thinking, David, your name popped up. I'm like, wait a second, what can we do there? But the technology industry will be represented by, there'll be one lead company that'll be there, media company, one lead company, and then the rest of the companies with different booths. And that lead company gets the end cap, gets the space on the end. So that should be pretty exciting and great visibility for that person. So Dave, I saw your name pop up. Hey, Doug, same kind of category. We should be the lead sponsor at one of these pavilions. Put a stage up over there, man. Let everybody perform on stage. I think that'd be pretty wild. But we'll see how that goes. So anyhow, so that'll be there. It's at the school. So, and May is a number of months away, so who knows what's going on here with COVID. But as it stands right now, mask will be required. That'll change. You'll get the more current information on that one. But if you want to know what's going on, you got to follow what the schools are doing, and I think that would be the protocol that'll be followed with it. And here's why I mention it. If you are going to go, do hope that you are going to go, and you are going to be wearing a mask, which you probably will be wearing a mask, although we shall see. A mask with a logo on there might not be the worst thing in the world, right? Instead of wearing those paper masks at this thing, I mean, just look at this. There's another name tag. What a great name tag. And you know what? I know photos I've been always taking it off before the photos, but who knows? Maybe leave it on. Just leave your mask on, leave your name tag on, leave your logo on as that goes. But if you are going to go and you want to wear a mask with your logo on it, don't wait until the last moment before you put that together. So that's from an overall standpoint. Still the same thing, $10 if you just show up. Don't just show up. It's free to attend if you register in advance. All right, they got your name. Congratulations. Your name will be shared with all of the vendors. Okay. So you're going to get a lot more emails. Okay. The rest of that stuff. You know what? Maybe that saves you from having to collect everybody else's email addresses. So be it. Maybe you could save your selling to the vendors after the fact and just go around that trade show with a purpose, a real purpose. And we can I'd like to get into that. There's a few of you that are very good on that networking side, how to handle yourself at a trade show, how to approach the vendors over there, respecting the fact that those vendors paid to be there. All you're doing is avoiding a payment to give them your name by not registering. That's the difference there. So there's definitely ways about doing that. And go figure out when you attend these things, who you want to meet as a referral partner, who you want to meet as a potential client, and who you just want to meet because you just find it interesting. And maybe you could use their services, what a thought, to help you grow your businesses. And that's where that goes. I know when I attend these things, I'm always looking for businesses that have got some personal stories behind it. Because whenever there's a personal story behind it, there's usually somebody that's very, very motivated in order to grow that business. And it goes beyond just a paycheck. It goes beyond just that dollar amount. They're really out there looking to serve their customers, serve their clientele for a reason. It just goes beyond everything. And you guys know that rather well. I know you know that rather well. There were just some people who just like totally focused on everything. There was one woman I met that when we were doing these high school career days, well, she started sharing with those students exactly why she does what she does and exactly who she wanted to meet and who she wanted to help out. And it was because of her own personal challenges, her own personal obstacles that she had to face. And they were very big obstacles. And she worked her way through it. And she had told herself, she said, there is no way, no way anybody else should have to go through what she did. People will, but she can help them out in a manner that's so much different. Look, we were both in the same profession, but she could do it in a manner that's so much different than I could do because her personal experiences are different, much different, totally different than mine were. So it's fascinating stories. All right, so that's the trade show. What else is happening at the trade show is that we are looking to deliver, and this is maybe a different we that's involved over there, but we'll start with the foundation, EC&Y Foundation, Executive Consultants of New York. I'm a board member of the foundation. Our goal with that foundation is to help people that are either in transition, hey, I got laid off, I need a new job, or I want to leave my company and want to find a new career path, regardless of age. Or, and my focus is a bit more on the or side of things, these would be students and help them gain clarification as to what direction that they feel they should be going in order for them to pursue a career path that they feel that they should be doing and some of the things that they should look at in order to find that inner drive, the story behind the company that they will eventually build, or it could be the story that they will build to while working for a company that'll support that effort. Could mean a lot of different things. Look, if you want to be the first person to step foot on Mars or to help build something that'll get people to Mars, that's probably not a go it alone effort. So there's a lot of companies out there that might have that same thought process, in there to be a part of that mission to Mars with human beings. So you go to work at a company like that, and if you start now in high school knowing that that's what you want to do, well, I think that there's a lot of things you can do now in order to build that resume up. So you do wind up with a aerospace company, and you do wind up with a company that has got to do with the outer space, and this many different ways about doing that, but it pays to start, right now. So we want to deliver that message again, the vocational thing, right? Being focused on whatever it is that you want to do for a career, whether it means going to college right off, whether it doesn't mean going to college right off. Could be anything. Could be anything. Number of possibilities. I don't want to run out of time over here, but a number of possibilities to go down that route. So last year at the October trade show, I asked the folks from the Long Island Needs a Drag Strip to come down and help out, which they were fantastic with it. Brought a race car down there and a couple of other cars. We were talking about vocational training, which originally started out with the automotive industry. Oceanside High School came down with their students. One of the other schools out here also came down. I think that was Patchogue, brought their students also. Different groups of students that attended, had a great time at the show. That was wonderful. The Oceanside students brought a car that they were working on, still working on it. And they also brought a boat that they had built. The Patchogue Medford students, I think it was their virtual enterprise group students that came to the trade show. Tons of takeaways. So we want to do this year, maybe different people setting it up, but that same statement, is about what students could do today in order to understand, focus on, and build that resume. So when they are out there looking for that first job, they now have got a resume that's built in, showing the interest of showing the things that they have done that reflect the interest of where they want to go. And the same thing holds true if it's a student that's going to go to college and you're sitting there and you're speaking to that college admissions board and they want to know what you did in high school or why they should choose you over somebody else. And you point to all of these things and you tell them that you want to help build that spaceship, build that oxygen tank, build that module that people are going to live in when they get to Mars. And you show everything that you've done from 10th, 11th, 12th grade on. Wow, that's powerful. I think that's powerful. So we'll be talking a lot about that. We're building the team right now, but the expectation for that one is to not only just be at the trade show, but to also have a panel discussion at the show. So we're going to be submitting, Anthony, if you're listening to this, we'll be submitting an idea over to you in the not too distant future. Hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have at least a preliminary one to send to you about what it is that we'd like to do and some of the participants with that. So that should be really exciting. Great. So if you're anywhere in the career field, anywhere in that career field, this is certainly something to attend. If you're an educator at any of the high schools or colleges for that fact, but you're an educator in any of the colleges, man, this is going to be great information. You're going to meet some great people on that panel. This way you'll be able to take home or take back to the school some or your office some real good takeaways. Things that should be done right now. Heck, even if you're a parent and you got some kids that you like trying to help them along a little bit, this could be a good thing for you. Absolutely good. We'll give you some tips, pointers as to how to build up that resume without writing the resume, but how to build up that resume early on to make it work that way. Hey, even if you guys are, at some place and you want to make a move into something else, maybe there's a quiet way of doing that too. So your current employer doesn't know. So anyhow, that's the HIE trade show that is coming up. Next thing we got on the horizon, and David, I think you're going to find this one interesting. Let's go stop sharing that one, and we're going to bring in a new share screen, and let's go here. And you ready? Boom! There it is. I've never driven a car like that. Let's not kid ourselves. But anyhow, the racetrack, not street, coming back again. So they got approval for this one. And I'm gonna put the schedule up over here. There it is. We'll watch the cars for a little bit. I love that stuff. Love those photos too. So you might see a car like that. Might see a car. It's got to have mufflers. Oh, it's got a muffler. So here's the schedule. I'll put that up. So they got 3 series that are coming up here. So folks, pay attention to this one. And Doug, I actually looked into this too. I spoke to the motors company, Basamian Motors, to see if there's anybody that is in a wheelchair that is drag racing with just hand control. So we're going to see if we can find somebody that's doing that. That'll be the goal. That'd be a great goal. And David will talk about the interviews and things like that, what we can make happen. But they got approval from the town of Riverhead, so it's going to be at the EPCAL Executive Air Park. That's Executive Air Park at Calverton. They did it last year on one of the runways. This year they got the approval to use the longer runway. It's now a 10,000-foot runway, and they're going to use I think it's the service road of the runway in order to have the races on. And then the runway is going to be the pit area for the teams, for the race cars that are coming out there, or street cars that are going to be racing down there. So why does all of that stuff matter? Oh, I'll tell you in a second. But it gets started April 2nd is going to be the first day. So they're doing it in the spring. All the spring events are going to be during the day, which is good. So it's April 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, and the 16th. Then in the summer, it'll pick up again in August. So we got a 3-month little split over there, a 4-month split between the spring and the summer series. And so that'll be good. And then in the fall series will be just actually a few weeks after the summer one ends. So if you want to get yourself revved up, boom, boom, boom. I know that was terrible. You down there for the April 2nd one. All right, so here's the things that are going to stay the same and the things that are going to be different. All right, what's going to be different is the fact that it's moving over to the larger runway, still in the same air park, so whatever the directions are to get there, they got to get there. One of the reasons for doing that is that it's a little bit easier for the operations of the races and stuff like that. So that makes life a little bit easier, but it's also going to be better for the race teams, all these crews that come down there, all the families that come down there, which is great. And you, the spectator, also that are going to come down there. Because last year they did it they raced on the runway, but then they had the cars in the parking area on that service road. It was a service road area. So it was really long, really, really long. So if you wanted to go walk that area to go see everything, or roll that area to go see everything, it was quite the distance. Now, given the fact that it's on the runway, it's wider, so you won't have that. You still have a good amount to walk, but it won't be as spread out as it was in the past. So that's good. Also, if you're coming down there and you're bringing a trailer with you, so this is more for the folks that are bringing their cars. If you're bringing a trailer with you or a little tent or whatever to set up, you have a bit more space to go and do that. You need to go online and check the details of that. So go online to get the most current details of what you need to do, what the costs are, and all the rest of that stuff. For these different things, it's all on the website, and that is Racetrack Not Street, where you'll see this car that's out there. Racetrack Not Street. It's an NHRA event. There will be rules. There are rules. I don't have them all in front of me, but I'm sure there's good. Last year they had to have mufflers on the car. I'm sure that's going to be the same thing again. All the other safety features will be required. This is definitely a safe event. That's what they're looking for over here. The cars, you're racing against yourself, really, more than anybody else. When it gets down to the end, there's bracket racing, which now you're racing against somebody. But for the most part, you're racing against yourself. How quick you are and how quick the car is actually two different things. Two different things when you're doing the drag racing, which is pretty wild. How quick the car is? Well, let's assume that you're not driving it. It's just totally automated. So the light goes green, boom, the car goes. That's it. But that's the car speed. Then there's your speed. Your speed. What did you say? Oh, you're just sitting there? No, not exactly. Besides the fact you got to keep this car going in a straight line, is that one, you need to time those lights. Glad the lights came up on this one. You need to time those lights. So your reaction time is certainly a part of it. And then also, depending upon how much power you have in the car, that's another little factor on it. How much power to put down, this way you don't get the wheels spinning and you don't lose traction as you're shifting through the gears. I've never driven a car that was fast enough to do any of that stuff. My claim to fame was back at Freeport Speedway. Yeah, it's now a Kmart. And even Kmart's not a Kmart anymore. But I did. It was is it eighth of a mile oval or something like that? Quarter mile oval? I don't know. It was a very small oval track. Some down I got a 4-cylinder Capri that I raced the car with. Wound up winning, but I never wound up slowing down. I didn't have enough speed to say I wasn't going fast enough to slow down. First, second turn, all the rest of that stuff. Came off that second turn, brought it right up against the wall. Didn't hit the wall, but boy, oh boy, did it look close. Came into the third turn, and then I actually caught up to the car that was in front of me. Big 57 Chevy and all the rest of that stuff. My guess, he lost the race. It's not that I won the race. He lost it. He saw me, and he hit the gas, and he started fishtailing all over the place, and I wound up passing him on the outside. So who knew? But anyhow, so it's the same thing holds true here. Now, just because it's a straight line doesn't mean, bam, you hit the gas, the car goes, and there's nothing else. If you're shifting, and there's no grip on the track. I've now learned that. At least last year, there was no grip on the track, so it's just a regular road. But if you go into the second gear or third gear, probably just second gear, I would guess, and then the car starts spinning again, and you start losing control and it starts fishtailing, that's not good. So you do have control of the speed of the car and how much power you're putting down to it. So that's another factor. There's a lot more that goes into going straight than I ever thought there was. So, it's an interesting thing to watch. I also hope to be able to announce the races again. Man, I just had a ball doing that. So that's going to start April 2nd. And that should be a whole lot of fun to go and do. And those are the two things that are coming up. Let's stop sharing over here right now to the end. But those are the two things that are coming up there. Nady, good afternoon to you. And I'm looking forward to it. So if you want to be involved, let me know. The trade show, there's a Facebook page you could go to. This way you can register for the trade. Not register, but you could join a Facebook group page. Let everybody know you're coming. Get yourself together there. A lot of things you need to do in advance to prepare for that show, even if you are just attending. Could be a mask, definitely business cards. I'm handing out business cards again because we're seeing people. Making sure you're healthy too, going into this thing, and who you want to meet and all the rest of that stuff, and mapping that out. So that's a part of it. We've got that panel discussion that we're going to do with the schools. If you're interested in that area, let me know. Love to have you attend. Working on a few of the details, but anyhow, at least love to have you attend, and you could promote it too if that's in line with you. And then the Racetrack Not Street is the other thing. That should be a whole lot of fun for everybody. Hopefully the weather's good for that one. They do have some rain dates planned if need be, but hopefully the weather is good for that one, and we go out there and have a little fun, whether it be behind the wheel. I don't know, Gav. What do you think? Maybe we'll borrow the car, go behind the wheel. Wouldn't that be cool? Hey, David, maybe that would be the place for you and I to do an interview as we're racing down the track, live stream as we're streaming down the raceway. It's a thought. It's a crazy thought, but then again, why not? You might, if you're going to think, you might as well think big. Boy, that would be a whole lot of fun to go and do, let alone everything else that's taking place. But anyhow, so if you want to know more, just let me know. We'll go, we'll do. Just keep pushing yourself a little bit. Make sure, though, you do go into everything with that attitude of it might not work out as well as you'd hoped. There's always something to learn from whatever those events are. And then go into that one with a bit of a smile as we go and do. And I know if I get behind a car to go race down a drag strip, there's going to be quite the learning event, on that one. We learn a little bit about doing these trade shows and the panel discussions and how to promote those things. So this won't be a good one. Me behind the wheel of a car going down drag strip? I don't know. That just could be a whole lot of fun. No expectations there. But no matter what it is that you do, my friends, you got to do three things. That is, speak well, speak often, and always, always, always live inspired. All right, here we go. Let's play a little music. What do you think? Brand the name. One more post, and we are out of here.